Well, that's where we are today, guys. Runthorpe Park, Wakefield. You can see it's not particularly busy today because of the rain and the weather. But usually this is a very popular spot. It's got all of the basketball and the football up there as well, which gets used daily. In fact, it was quite busy early today until the showers came down, unfortunately for the kids. Look around this area, I do see quite a lot of these pipes here, and I think they're to do with gas. There's one there, and there's one over there, and then they kind of follow suit over there. I'm assuming that this marks the gas line, the pipes that run underground from here to here. And so when they're doing groundworks, etc., it's kind of an indicator where not to dig. But I don't know that for a fact, so if you know any different, please do let me know and comment down below. Now, I don't have a gimbal, so the footage might be a little bit rocky and shaky. I've got no other way of filming, unfortunately. Well, that's nice, isn't it? Nice little creaky river thing. So it's a really well kept park, as you can clearly see, and I'm just thankful for the paths that you know, they've got in place here, really well kept, and you can hear the nature and everything. It's really well kept. Excellent little park this. Well, I say little, it's not little, it's quite big actually. Happy to tell the weather's not been very favourable just recently for the start of summer. Been pretty dismal. We've had one or two really nice days, but other than that it's been pretty dull and grim. And I believe for later today it's given out amber weather warnings in some parts of the country for thunderstorms, so yeah, not so great. That said, I had a lovely hour or so sitting in the van just listening to the rain on the roof and chilling out, which was really nice. So what did I want to talk about in this video? Well, I'm approaching the 3-month mark, or the end of the 3-month mark, of living in a van full time. And I started this adventure for a number of different reasons. Number one, I always wanted to do it, I always wanted to try it. I've been watching van life videos for years. Number two, my landlord priced me out of my rental. That was a nudge that put me on the van life trek, so to speak, the final straw as it were. Now, I'm not going to sit here and pretend, or stand here, walk here and pretend that them clouds, geez whiz, my gosh. So I'm not going to pretend it's all been fun and games, sunshine and roses and all that sort of stuff, because that would be nonsense. Anybody that tells you any different is a liar. So I want to talk about the 3 main top priorities that I found are sometimes difficult to fulfill in van life. So for me, being a full-time online worker, a digital nomad, if you will, seems to be a popular phrase, doesn't it? Is power. Electric. So I don't have a backup property. Oh, them houses are nice, aren't they, over there? I don't know if you can see them behind me, just down there. I don't have a property where I can sneak off and plug my van into, or plug my devices into, charge up, or a significant other with a house, or yeah, anything like that. So what I do have is I think it's a 100 amp hour lead acid battery that powers all the 12 volt stuff, which of course you can't plug or charge up a Windows laptop with, which I've discovered very power hungry. I didn't realise how power hungry they were until I lived in the van. So finding ways of charging your equipment can sometimes be a bit stressful. So a couple of things. I also have, as well as my 100 amp hour battery, a Bluetti EB3A. It's featured in some of my other videos. It's 600 watt. It doesn't pack a big punch. You know, it doesn't have a lot of longevity. So I generally use that to death. Quite literally, in that I will use 100%. I know you're not supposed to, thought you're getting at me. 100% of the charge each day, more or less. Not every day, to be fair, but you know. So I do know you're not supposed to really take them below 20%. So what I tend to do then is idle the engine and through charge. So through charge, if anybody doesn't know, is where you charge up your power supply. What's that background over there? Look. Charge up your power supply, your Bluetti, your other, and you plug devices in to also charge at the same time. So 2 birds, 1 stone. Now that's not ideal, because when you're charging the Bluetti up in this way, in this manner, through the car, it takes a while. To be fair, it's not a quick charge, it's not a rapid charge by any stretch of the imagination. I'm just going to take a seat on this bench, catch my breath. It takes quite a long time, it takes up quite a lot of diesel. I'm no mechanic, but I would imagine idling your engine every day to that extent is not good. Maintenance on the vehicle, well, give me a moment, I'll bring you back on that one. Weather's coming down now. But yes, maintenance. So as soon as I moved into the van, a perfectly running van, perfectly well ordered van, started developing faults. Literally, the day I moved in, it's like it was just waiting for me. I had a handling issue, it's pulling to the right. I had a vibration issue coming through the steering, and DPF filter issue. Luckily I had a little bit of money put away from the first month of not paying rent, and I was able to call upon that and use that. Now, the handling issue and the vibrations turned out to be the same thing. It was tyres. Although they'd passed the MOT, they were a bit old and past their best, and they started to bulge, a couple of them. So I took it in and had 3 new tyres fitted. I didn't have the money really for all 4. I do want to go back and get the 4th one done, just to, have them all done for peace of mind. But anyway, 3 new tyres. So that was over 200 quid for those, about 250, 260 quid to be supplied, fitted, balanced, all that good stuff. Then the EDF issue started. I'm going to go into details about that, but that was another 600 quid. So within the first few weeks of moving into the van, almost there was a few other bits and pieces, so almost £1,000 in maintenance within a couple of weeks. Now, it does need a clutch. I knew it needed a clutch anyway before I moved in full time, and I already had a quote for that, so that was not a massive shock or surprise. Okay, so I knew that was going to cost me about £1,000, and that's booked in for this week actually, coming up in week 13. Hope it's not unlucky. So that's booked in with an agreed price of, I think, £860. Now you've got to factor into that as well that you're going to be without your home whilst that's happening, and that's a 2-day repair. So they need it overnight. So I've had to book into a travel lodge whilst they are doing that. Now I didn't have to book into a travel lodge, and my initial plan was, because I'll go back to my original garage or area to have that done. It was going to cost, I was going to go camping in a tent, but looking at the weather, it's just not really something I want to do in this weather. And also, I looked at the prices for campsites, and if I was going to go camping, I was going to make a weekend of it. I was going to do 2-3 nights camping. I would have to change my tent because I needed a new tent. I'd see one at Asda for 50 quid, so I was going to get that one. So that's like 200 quid for 3 nights camping. And then I thought, oh my God, this is going to get really expensive. And then you don't have access to cooking facility. Well, you do actually, I suppose, on campsites. It was the costs were starting to mount up beyond what I wanted it to be. So then I Googled up hotels and found, well, I only really need it for one night. The garage should only have my van for one night, as promised. So I booked a hotel or travel lodge, if you will, for one night, and it was 109 quid or something. So you've got to factor that into the cost of the repairs as well, you know, and be prepared for that. But this repair will pretty much wipe me out, and that's not good. So what I do need to do after this month is have a few months of real lean living and, you know, building back up some money back into that bank account. Number 3 of the 3 things, or top 3 things, not the only 3 things, of course, that you've got to watch out for in van life, and that is, or be aware of, and that is water. It's not always as easy as you think to fill up with water. I have IBS. I'm quite cautious as to where I get my water from. I would much rather, I know people say, oh, you can just fill it up at any outdoor tap. You can, and if you've got a better constitution than me, then that would probably be absolutely fine, no problem. But I'm very cautious, and the only outside tap that I use is at the house of my daughters, and I've used that one many times. It's been fine. I did use one other outside tap one time before at a garage, and it made me ill. So yeah. Now other people say they only drink bottled water, and they use that outside tap scenario for, you know, cooking, bathing, washing, that sort of thing, because they're going to boil it anyway, which is fair enough. My van's tiny, it's a micro camper. I don't have the room to do different sources of water. Someone can come up behind me, so I'm going to press pause. I only fill up from sources that I trust. The one source, of course, is my kids' house. They're outside tap. I don't mind using that. That's been absolutely fine. And I use bottled water. And you can buy it cheap as chips. I think it was like £1.26 or £1.50 or something for 5 litres from Lidl or Aldi. I'll get the two mixed up. And I've got a 13 litre container underneath my Dometic doohickey sink, and so I'll just buy a couple of them, and I top it up, and then I keep a couple ready to fill it up on the go. So if I'm on the road, realise I've run out of water, I just can kind of fill it up straight away, and as soon as they're empty, I fill them up again, one way or another. I don't like buying plastic, but when needs must, then I tend to do that. But I do keep, so for example in the car I've got 2 5 litre empty bottles, and I'll just refill them from my kids' outdoor tap. So I'll fill up the 13 litre bottle under the sink, and I'll fill up that, and I've got a 2 litre drinking bottle that I have as well. I fill that up, and I've got some small sort of 300ml bottles just for drinking. I bought them for about £1 for a pack of 3, and I just fill them up all the time and refill them and use them as I go for drinking water, and that way you know that the quality of the water you're drinking is good. Oh, back at van. This is one of the bottles I was talking about, 5 litre bottle. I can't remember how much it was, a couple of quid maybe, from it might even be Tesco, this one, I don't know. I also use these. I bought a 3-pack of these from, they're on special offer for £1 from Tesco, and I found that's been really good. Little drinking bottle for 3 for £1, and you know, you can just keep filling them up, keep filling them up, keep filling them up, so they don't end up on landfill. Eventually they will, you know, at some point, which is not a good thing at all. But they're quick, and I like the size of them. They're just right for my little Dometic. Well, it's not even a Dometic fridge, it's a 3J fridge. It's identical to a Dometic fridge, to be quite honest. Yeah, I just fill them up, put them in the fridge, keep them nice and cool, and I've got a nice cold drink on hand for whenever I need it. So 13 litres in the I'm not going to show underneath the sink because it's a mess. That's my dumping ground. But 13 litres in there, and then another maybe 14 litres with all the bits and pieces that are filled up as well. So 27 litres, that's enough to keep you going for, I don't know how long. Depends on how warm it is and how much you're drinking, I guess. But I would say at least a week, you know, if you're out and about and wild camping. And that's all I ever do, just wild camp. I'll be honest with you, I've stayed on, I think, 2 campsites in the last 3 months. And that is it. I thought I'd be on campsites all the time. Well, not all the time, but, you know, most of the time. But I've not found the need for it, to be honest. I stayed, where did I stay? What were the 2 sites I've stayed on? Jacob's Mount in Scarborough, which I thought was, you know, reasonably good value for money. It was 30 quid for the night. And I said, is he electric metered and that sort of thing, you know. I said, no, fully booked, use as much as you want. So I was like, all right, okay. So I made sure everything was fully charged. You know, I even used the electric heater that night for a little while. And then I went to a different campsite. Really nice staff, really nice campsite, really well kept, etc. And I preferred that campsite the way it was more spread out. And that campsite was, oh my good God, what was it called? I can't remember. If I can remember, I'll put it in text down the bottom there. But anyway, and that was 20. Well, I was annoyed because I went there one time for a gas bottle. Got talking to the lady, and I said, "How much are your pictures?" And she said 27 quid a night. I said, "All right, that's fantastic." They said, "But you charge for electricity separately." So I thought, okay, so that's going to be about 30 quid-ish. And then I went back. I thought, oh, I'll go there. I stayed there for a night. And I went back and I booked in, and it wasn't 27 quid a night, it was 33 quid a night. So that was a bit naughty. And then I ended up spending I think 3 quid in electric. No, sorry, it was 30 quid a night. So then I ended up spending another 3 quid on electric. So that was 3 quid, almost 34 quid, sorry. Dear me. For the night. And it wasn't that much more than what she said, you know, quibble over 2 or 3 quid, 3 or 4 quid. But it was annoying that it wasn't the price that they'd said, you know. So I was a bit miffed about that. What was good about that was they had a family style bathroom with a bath. I thought, oh brilliant, I'll be able to get a bath. But the bath wasn't working, the tap was broken. So I was like, all right, okay. I don't mind paying extra money for extra services, and that would have been great. A nice half an hour in the bath with a bit of Radox and, you know, that sort of thing. But it wasn't to be. I may go back to them again at some point and ask if their bath is actually functional, you know, before I book. And if it is, then I might actually book onto that site again at some point in the future. Just walked past with his little dog. His little dog was trying to get into the camper van, bless him. Really weird, mongrel type dog, and had its bottom teeth, canines going outwards like this, like almost like a wild boar sort of thing going on. Bless him. Seemed happy enough though, although soaking wet through. It's a miserable day out there. Anyway, that concludes this video. That was something a little bit different. I've just been doing short videos, so I don't have to edit anything because I'm not very good at it. I'm not very motivated to do it. Yeah, I'm going to edit this one. I'm going to put this one up. Let me know what you think. Give me some thumbs up. Give me some likes. Don't forget to comment and subscribe. It's absolutely free of charge. And hit the bell icon because you will get notifications to say when the videos are released. If you like this longer form video, then please do let me know.